welcome everyone to the One Collective Biz Bites. This is a monthly webinar series we are doing and we have launched, and it's a blast. We're essentially taking some really great business minded type things and bringing them to photographers. So the One Collective is made up of photographers, and we want to find ways to better our businesses, better each other's businesses and others. So for those that don't know me, I'm Isaac. I am one of the One Collective owners. And we've got kind of in the background, we've got Mindy and Jody, two of the other ones, and a few others in the audience here. But we are so excited to kind of bring together, some amazing people like Andrew here. And just as a slight introduction, Andrew is a former employee of mine. And so yes, he did get fired. So that's it was it was a really fun. What was it? 3 years? We did about 3 years together.
Yeah.
Yep. So we had some awesome time working together. And so Andrew's role with my studio was marketing, just kind of the assistant, my right-hand person, and probably 500 other things. So, so Andrew, in the time working with me in my studio, he actually had launched his own marketing company. He came from a marketing background. And so while working for me, he did a marketing business on the side. And so it came a time where he said, I'm ready to kind of go and launch my thing and get going. And so he went full time into his marketing business called Brand Lumo. So Andrew is amazing. He is the reason my studio is ranking so well on Google. We're dominating basically a 60-mile radius of our studio. So I invited him to be a part of this, to share with you guys some really cool things you can implement and start implementing right now. So Andrew, I apologize if I took any bit of your intro, but please feel free to fill in any kind of gaps that I missed, or just dive right in.
Sounds good. Yeah. Let me just share my screen with you so we can kind of just jump in there. But yeah, let me see here. I'll share my entire screen. We'll get into my intro in just a little bit here. But yeah, so today, just to kind of recap, we're talking about manual mode, but as it relates to your marketing and not your camera, right? So as you know, with your camera, jumping into your manual mode kind of sets you apart from other people. And really that's what this presentation or this discussion today is all about. We're trying to figure out ways that we can present your businesses, your photography businesses, in a better way that sets you above anybody else in the room. So that's really cool. And we're going to talk about some tools. We're going to talk about some strategies, and we will talk about just dominating. And you can do this even if you're just getting started. And that is the good news. Again, I'm Andrew and I run Brand Lumo, but I did have the opportunity to work with Isaac for a number of years. And let's see here. All right. So I would actually love to know who else is here. And so I would love if you could write in the chat, maybe your name, the name of your photography company, where you are located, and the specialty that you weddings or seniors or whatever it happens to be. What do you kind of specialize in with your company? And then also, what is your main marketing channel currently? So that we could just kind of give an idea of who's in the room, what we're doing, what we might be struggling with, and kind of see what we're going on there. But yeah, I'm Andrew. I had the pleasure of working with Isaac, and I would call myself kind of a photog marketer. I don't know. I've been into photography since I was a kid. I was kind of the guy that was just grabbing my dad's camera and taking pictures. And but yeah, I've been in marketing. That's been my profession for 15 years. And a lot of that has been within the SEO, and that's been a big part of my job. No matter which facet of marketing I've been in, I'm always kind of thinking about that. So that's kind of a little bit about me. Let's see. I do have my own photography company as well that I kind of launched while I was working for a different agency, because I just needed some supplemental income, and I was like, well, I've always loved photography. I want to get into it as a little side business, and Isaac was actually pretty instrumental in helping me out with that. So thanks to Isaac for that. But
I want to. Can I jump in really quick?
Go for it, man.
And then I apologize if you're going to
Your
share this.
Your audio is very, very like low for what it's worth.
Okay, let's see if we can fix that. Hold on. So Andrew, check 1 2.
That's better.
So Andrew, when he came from another company and started working for my studio, he had his photography business already launched. And this was hilarious because when he started working for me, people would inquire with him at his photography, and then we would get the same inquiry come to my studio. And so it was hilarious because basically if Andrew didn't want to do it or didn't want to work on the side and he was just like, I'm too busy for that, he would tell them, hey, I highly recommend working with Isaac at Coffee Creations instead of me. And then, so it was actually pretty awesome.
Yeah. And the reason I think that is kind of important to share is because my photography business was very part-time for me. Isaac had his full-time for quite some time. And there are really, anywhere you go, there's going to be a lot of different photographers out there that you're trying to set yourself apart from, right? And the good news is, like, because I knew what I was doing, I was able to get my site up ranking alongside Isaac's. And, you know, I was able to get a lot of the same leads that Isaac was getting, like he was talking about. We kind of like, we would kind of throw each other leads, like, you know, like you mentioned, we're getting the same inquiries going on. And so that kind of stuff was fun while we were working together and whatnot. Now, I will say, disclaimer, I have not done anything with that site for like 5 or 6 years. I kind of just abandoned the business while I was working with Isaac and a little bit before that too. But yeah, I kind of abandoned that a little bit just to kind of get this marketing company up and running and whatnot. But I still rank. I still have it available, and I did a ton of work over the last couple of days to rehash it for you, so I can talk through some things, show and tell here in a little bit. But okay, so we have a lot of different responses here. We got a lot of people actually. Wow, this is kind of intimidating, but no, it's good. We've got Jody. She focuses on seniors in Las Vegas. Ooh, that's going to be fun. Gretchen is in Northern Nevada, specializing in seniors. Seniors for Isaac. He's in Ohio. Wow, nice. Family, corporate there too. Mindy, all over the place. She does senior photos. Nice. Susan is into senior photography. Steve, Buffalo. Nice. Just getting started in general portraiture. Okay, cool. Shayla. Hey, Shayla. Long time no see. Illinois. Seniors, weddings, lifestyle. That's great. Okay, cool. I think we've got a lot of good stuff. We've got Susan from Pennsylvania, and I believe you're the only one that mentioned your marketing channel is Instagram, so that's cool. Okay, right. So we got a lot to cover today, and I'm just gonna kind of jump in and keep moving here. And if you do have questions, I can see the chat, so go ahead and shoot me messages there. And Isaac, if you feel like you need to interject for any reason, go ahead and do that as well. But yeah, let's get rolling. So quick question. Who feels like this when it comes to marketing right now? Just kind of show of hands there. Where there's so much to do. And you always just feel like you can never catch up. You're not making any progress. It's always difficult. And you just want to jump off of this and do something that actually works. And so I think that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish today. And the good news is there's so much opportunity here because a lot of people aren't putting in the effort or focusing their attention to do it right. And so I want to hear from you guys again. What do you see as the main differences between these two photos here that I've got up on the screen? Go ahead and throw it in the chat. What do you think? What do you notice right away? Chaos versus simplicity, simple versus busy, simple versus busy, National Geographic versus portrait. Chaos and focus. Exactly, guys. You're a smart crowd, man. I don't have to teach you anything. Yeah. So we've got just kind of a crazy scene, haphazard, things all over the place. Really no focus whatsoever. You don't really know where you're supposed to look or anything like that. And this is kind of the rat race, right? This is when you don't know what you're doing. You haven't put in time to acquire any different skills. Maybe you're just starting out in photography or whatever, and you have yet to hone your skills, and you might take photos like this, and it's just like overwhelming to anybody that looks at it. And then you have on the right-hand side there somebody who doesn't know how to use off-camera flash very well, but they have at least mastered the manual mode on their camera there to some extent. You know, they figured out their light triangle there, and yeah, they know what they're doing. And so that's the thing. You know where to look. Your eyes go straight to that individual, and everything else just kind of, you know, blends into the background, and we have our focus point. So that's our thought process today. When it comes to marketing, clarity is going to beat creativity every day. You might have, you know, all these fancy things going on with your website or with Instagram or whatever, but I will say that the best thing you could do is just try to make the effort to be clear to your audience. And again, we have a lot of opportunity in this field because a lot of people are approaching their marketing like the picture on the left there. It's haphazard. It's all over the place. They're not sure exactly what to do to focus. But I want you guys to kind of be focused today. So that's what we're going to be thinking about. One of the things that you need to think about right off the get-go here is the mindset of your audience. So forget about yourself for just a second. Think about the people that you're trying to impact here, that you want to be your clients. When they're in a chill mode, they're just living life, enjoying the moment, and connecting with people. Versus they could be in a buying mode when they're actively looking for a solution to a specific problem they've got. They've got this senior. A lot of you guys are senior photographers, so they've got a senior coming up, or their end of their junior year or whatnot. They know they need to get their senior pictures taken care of, etc. And so they're going to be looking for that. And so where do we reach these people at during these different phases? Obviously, the chill mode. We've got social media, and then we've got Google in the buying mode. When they're in the chill mode, this is where we're doing a lot of our Instagram marketing, our Facebook marketing, etc. I would consider this a churn type of approach. This is kind of slightly off topic, but there's a YouTuber that I follow. His name is Vanessa, and she took an entire year off of, she had this huge business, multi-million-dollar business, right? She took an entire year off of social media and her business as a whole in general, right? So because she had the means to do that, she just decided to do it. She was running crazy. She was in the churn state of things. And the interesting thing that she noted was when she came back to her business and she started working on things, all this stuff on social media, all of her relevance, prevalence, everything had entirely tanked. People were not looking up her social media. People were not touching her Instagram. Things just really tanked because she wasn't touching it, right? But things like her website and her YouTube channel stayed relevant. They still got a ton of traffic, no matter that she wasn't posting at all. She still ranked for things, and she was getting a lot of business and traffic via those channels. And so the point I'm trying to make here is that a lot of us wear ourselves to death trying to do all the things on social media and try to stay, try to keep all these things flowing through social media, and we just kill ourselves. It's a grueling task to be a social media manager. I've done that for people. I do that for people, and it's just grueling. And then at the end of the day, your posts last for, I don't know, a couple minutes, a day, maybe 2 days if you're lucky, where it's getting put in front of people. And from there, people have to seek you out. And so the content just kind of sits flat and dies unless somebody happens to go to your account. Like if you get suggested by a friend or something and they go, okay, cool. I've got, I can see that Isaac does good work, for instance, because I look at his Instagram. Okay, great. But really, I want to go check out his website, or I want to go see what else is available in my area. And I'm in a decision mode. Then I start to think about, I take this more seriously. When I start to think about things more seriously, I'm jumping over to Google. I'm doing searches for particular things. So once you are established in Google, you can really dominate, and it's going to last for a longer time. It takes a little bit more effort to get there in the short term, but once you're there, man alive, like this is sustained good marketing practices for you. Okay. So that's why I want to talk about Google today, because I think that Google kind of gets you out of the rat race for a minute. It helps put you onto this solid core foundation that if you forget to post for a couple days, no big deal. Somebody, people are still going to be searching for your services, and you want to be playing in that space. And the good news is a lot of people are doing things really wrong. They don't know what to do. And SEO can be kind of confusing. And so, and so people just don't do it. They ignore it because it doesn't make sense to them. And that gives you a lot of opportunity. So we'll get into that a little bit, but I want to talk about dominating Google. This photo is showing that when you're trying to talk to Google, or when you're trying to get ranked, you have to think about the intersection between a robot and a human, because everything that you're doing on your website or within the search engine itself, you have to play a game of both figuring out what it is that Google wants and also figuring out what it is that a human would interact with. And Google really wants you to be creating things that are going to be relatable to a human, but they also want to be able to find it. And so we're going to talk about how we can do that today. So I wanted to I don't know, can you guys see this okay? I don't know if I need to zoom in or something.
It's I don't know on everyone else's end, but it is just a little grainy. But I think
okay.
I can make it out on my end. So if you kind of describe maybe each thing, should be good.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go through examples here, just really quickly. I know I want to be conscious of time here, but so the examples I have up on the screen, I'll describe them a little bit so that if you can't see it really well, you can at least see the general ideas of what's happening here. On the left-hand side, I have a search for photographers in Ashland, Ohio. And I'm doing this as an example because I've done a lot of work on Isaac's website. I've done a lot of work over the last couple of years to help him rank for different things. And so I've seen this, like everything's working that we've done, right? And so just kind of, it gives me good examples to run with here. But on the left-hand side is a locally based searched photographers in Ashland, Ohio. You could supplement that with like seniors in Ashland, Ohio, et cetera, et cetera. But photographers in Ashland, Ohio is what, somebody is going to be searching initially when they're jumping in, they're looking for your area. That is a majority of where searches are going to start, would be just the general term of photographers. Kind of difficult to rank for sometimes, depending on your area, like Las Vegas. That was going to be a little bit challenging, but we can get a little bit creative with that. So the benefit of that local search is obviously you want to be showing up in the Google local pack here. And then you want to try to rank as close as you can to the top here of the organic search results. I said that showing up in the local pack for your local area is relatively easy, depending on your area, but really relatively easy here. And then ranking, I've said, is mostly easy because sometimes it can be extremely frustrating. You do all the right things and somebody with a crappy website somehow still outranks you, and it just drives you nuts, but it happens. But in your local area, you should easily be able to dominate this, and we'll show you how to do that. In the right-hand side here is it's another area that is not local to us, Copy Creations. It's not local to Ashland, Ohio. Delaware, Ohio is kind of a suburb of Columbus. And so we're trying to break into the Columbus market. And to do that, we're kind of like going around some of the different, suburbs there. Delaware happens to be a pretty decent sized city, but it's just outside of Columbus. The search result that you're seeing here is including sponsored ads from Google. It's showing local pack results. It's showing kind of the suggested questions or people also ask areas. All of that stuff happens before you get down to your organic listings. And so there's a lot to think about here. There's a lot to try to do to show up in Google. Is you want to try to be in all of these spaces. So it just kind of shows that your brand is pretty powerful. Okay. Thanks, Isaac, for kind of jumping in and answering that question about how big Ashland is. But Delaware, maybe look up the stats on how big Delaware is and or Columbus, Isaac, and put that in the chat too. But the point I'm trying to make here is that there's a lot of factors to showing up at Google. There's a lot of things that you could do to gain prominence here. And then also your organic listing is getting kind of shoved to the bottom of this particular listing, but yet you'll notice we're still here. We are the number one listing when it comes to this search for some place that is about an hour away from us. We're still able to jump in there, and we have been there for the last year or so. So it's pretty cool. When it comes to the ads portion, we could think of that as like a very, my goodness, a very easy thing to get into. All you have to do is throw Google some money and you're going to be showing up there. And I would highly recommend that we do that. The second portion here, I've marked it as red because it is nearly impossible to show up in the local listings for some place that you don't have a location within. We're not JCPenney or anything like that, so we don't have all these places all over the map. So it's going to be very difficult for you guys to show up in these business listings if it's outside of your service area, right? So what can we do to show up in these three different places? All we have to do is create content that is put together to rank for the things that we want to rank for. It's actually pretty simple when you boil it down. And the good thing is most of your competition does not think about this whatsoever. They're not even thinking about search. They're thinking about Instagram and things like that, social. And so they're in the rat race, and good for them. And you can still do that. It's also important, but let's do what we can to dominate the searches because that's going to get us business. So, all right. So really the four things that you want to do here when you're trying to dominate Google relates to the things that I was talking about there in the last slide. But number one, most important, is you want to try to get your website structure and content set up that we're going to rank for the terminology that you want to rank for. And it all starts with your website. Next is your local listings. That is the next thing that is important to you, especially for your local based searches. After that, I would say the next important thing would be to jump into Google Ads. And then finally, try to do what you can to get into Google Photos via alt tags and whatnot. So let's keep going right along. I have some examples from things just to show you that this is possible and to show you that you don't have to worry about your market necessarily. And if you put in the hard work, then we can get you ranking in things that you didn't think were possible. And armed with some stuff, just some knowledge here, we'll be able to break this down. Isaac, did you have a comment? You jumped. Can't hear you at all.
New technology.
There you
really fun thing Andrew and I would do when he was with me, we would want to rank for something new or try to rank into a market. And so it was actually quite hilarious. We would like create a blog post or he would rework a web page on our website. And then it was just a game of like refreshing Google like every day or every once a week or something to see if we would rank. And then literally every time we'd see us ranking in something, whether it was a search term, headshots in Cleveland, Ohio, or senior photographers, Ohio, we would always be watching and seeing if we would get there. And it was always like a victory. It was like a fun game we could kind of play. But like Andrew's going to probably show a little bit more here, but it definitely takes time and it's work, but it's so rewarding because it's kind of, I've had Cleveland photographers, Cleveland is an hour from me. I've had Cleveland photographers that are like, dude, what the heck? You're ranking in our area. People are searching headshots and they're not finding me before they find you.
Didn't somebody
I'm
get
like,
kind of upset at you?
Jokingly upset.
Okay.
They're like, I gotta beat you in my own town. And I'm like, well, you're welcome. So anyway, it's worth it. It's a ton of fun. Like I said, it became a game for us of how can we rank in this city or for this search term. It's like I said, so rewarding. So
yeah. And good segue, because I just wanted to kind of show some of these things, right? These are semi-old screenshots, but they're still good here. So a couple things just to think about. These are all based. Well, the first search over here that I'm trying to highlight is try to write an article or put up a page of your site. Doesn't matter like if you're not into blogging or whatever. Okay, that's cool. It's gonna hamper you a little bit, but at least create a page on your site that talks about the best photo spots in your area, best photo locations with your city name. This particular content is one of the most trafficked pieces of content on Isaac's website. People will jump onto this like crazy. I was surprised at how many people were searching or finding his website via this particular page itself. So people, there's an intent here. That they're looking for photos of some sort. They're looking to jump into this. And maybe there's other photographers too, but people are looking for good photo spots. And so, boom, create a piece of content that answers that question, answers that need that somebody's looking for, and you're going to rank for that, and you're going to get a lot of traffic through an article like that. So best photo spots in Las Vegas, best photo spots in any of these other places that you guys are at, you're going to show up good for that. And then headshots in Ashland. What's that, Isaac?
Really quick. I'll give you a chance to take a drink of water.
Thanks.
So on that first article, some of you might see that and be like, well, I'm just kind of like helping my competition by giving away some secrets. Well, it's one of those things that I've had an article like that on previous versions of my website, and I always create a new version each time if we update the website or migrate to a new one, we recreate that blog post. And what it is, if you're kind of are holding back some secrets, quote unquote, just know that someone may be searching that, even a photographer, but someone may be searching it because maybe they're starting there. They're trying to get ideas for photo spots for their senior photos. And then maybe they have a photographer in mind that's not you, but now they're on your website. They're seeing all your photos. Every photo on that blog post is obviously one of my photos. And so it's kind of fun because we're just in front of their faces when they're thinking about photography already. So it's already kind of a qualified lead, and you may have an opportunity to earn someone that is planning to go to another photographer because all of a sudden they're like, oh, wow, these are actually really great photos. So anyway, sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, you're good.
Back to it.
Yeah. And on that, so just to kind of help think through that same exact mentality that Isaac was thinking, people might see, your competition might see it, but who cares? Like, you're the one that did the work to show up. The people that you want to see it are going to show up there as well. They're going to hit that page. And so to kind of combat, if we started noticing other photographers trying to rip off our locations, that we're already trying to promote to people that we like a lot, work in some exclusivity. So there are intentionally a couple different locations within that list that are exclusive to Copy Creations. They can only go to those locations if they are a Copy Creations client. And so we work that into that article. So it's like, hey, this is an awesome photo spot if you are a Copy Creations client, So it's like, oh shoot, that place looks pretty sick. I really want to go there. And so work that into this article as well. Don't just think the generic spots that everybody's going to go to. Definitely include those, but also kind of set yourself apart, give yourself some exclusivity there, and it's just going to help you in the eyes of the people that are looking for these photo spots and whatnot. Okay, I'm going to keep blazing through here because I know there's a lot to cover still, and I'm just giving these as examples. But so now anytime somebody searches for headshots, this was something that we didn't have on the website for a while, and then we decided to push more into this particular facet because we noticed that a lot of people were not doing headshots well. They're old, stodgy, boring, all that sort of stuff. And so we wanted, not a lot of photographers were promoting that they do headshots. It's an easy way to make some money, and it's very transactional. And so we're like, well, yeah, we're going to try to get headshots from people in Ohio. So headshots in Ashland, Ohio was the term. Obviously you want to show up for that. That's where we were. Isaac's website here. I mean, his local listing here. And then, his website obviously is going to be number one for this. We've got another photographer who's been in town and been the main photographer in town for years, decades, 50 years or so. This Maurer guy has been in business. We're eking him out. Believe it or not, my old photography company that I'll get into here in a little bit, but it's ranking as well, and or at least it was when I took the screenshot. And I hadn't touched it for years, but I had set myself up to rank as well. So I just hadn't touched it for years. So I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. Senior pictures, same sort of deal. You want to be in this local pack, but then also kind of dominate. And so people are seeing you in multiple spaces, and that's really, really cool. I showed up there again. That's pretty cool. Okay, next slide here. We got into newborn photography. And so there are several people that do newborn photos in Ashland, okay? They mainly advertise via Facebook or Instagram. They don't put any thought into their websites whatsoever. We easily jumped up in ranked for that really, really quickly just because we created content around it on our website. You'll notice though that this is producing some sponsored posts, so might make sense for us to jump in and do that. I'm guessing that the Ashland might include Kentucky, maybe. But anyway, we could show an ad if we're like, oh hey, I'm just going to review my search terms that I'm active. I'm trying to get to. I know my site is ranking, but dang it, it's being bumped down by these ads. Time to run some ads, right? People might not click your ad, but you're still giving yourself more exposure on the search engine, and that's what you want. Okay, they're more likely to click this free listing. That's awesome. That's what you want them to click on, but you still want to have your name up here in the sponsored listings as well. So we'll get into that too. Family pictures, again, like boom, we're ranking number one, like easy peasy. Okay, this is good stuff. All right, now this is kind of where things get a little bit even more interesting. So you could start to rank, like if you're having trouble trying to rank for a specific area, well, think about the landmarks. This kind of plays a little bit into the photo locations type thing, but think about the landmarks that you could start to get traffic around, like popular things. People are taking pictures there a lot, and so they might be looking for ideas there or something. Or photographers that have shot it well. And so let's get ranked for those things. Squires Castle is up by Cleveland. So we have no business ranking here because our business isn't even up in Cleveland, but boom, there we go. And you'll notice, I just want to point this out. Our title up here doesn't even include Squires Castle. Okay? But because of some wizardry, we're able to get in there with Squires Castle. It's pretty cool, and we'll show you that. But all this stuff is possible on a national scale. This is nationwide. We're ranking for things for like senior pictures with instruments, senior pictures with cars, and senior pictures with pets. These things that we're like, we know that people are looking for. We know that they're searching for these things. Well, we want to be in that space. So senior pictures with instruments, Isaac is showing up the very first listing. And this is, I did like a search that is in another location using VPN and all that sort of stuff. But man, we are really going crazy. We're competing with Pinterest on this, which is really great. We actually created a video around it. And so our video ranks as well. So people are seeing Coffee Creations multiple times with these searches. It's incredible. And this stuff, guys, this is a photographer in Ashland, Ohio, right? And we looked at what Ashland has 20,000 people in the city, but we're taking over these search terms nationwide. And that is so cool because we set stuff up well. And it just shows you that the competition is so bad that nobody's thinking about this stuff. So if we start to think about it and we put some time into it, then you could show up. Isaac, you're about to say something else. I see a lot of people.
Nope, you're good. Just addressing some of the questions in the chat. So you already mentioned, Gretchen asked about, search results, are they skewed if you're searching on your own computer? And so Gretchen, he mentioned it. If you didn't catch it, he said searching with like incognito on your computer and VPN. VPN is where it puts your IP address in like a completely different state or country. So we tested everything on those to where we're telling the internet like we're not located in Ashland when we're searching these terms, and we got the same results. So it's nationally ranking, quote unquote, but specifically for those, when we put such and such photography Ashland, it's nationally ranking in that term. And so then Andrew Janet asked, recommending family pictures, using the word pictures versus photos or portraits, or kind of mix them back and forth. Any suggestions on that?
Yeah. There's a tool that you could, there are a couple different tools you could use, but if you, I can show this in a little bit. I'm planning to show this in a little bit if we have time, but cool. In the ads, you could go to ads.google.com, set up an account, and they have a keywords tool in there that you could kind of look at the volume of searches. But another, a really easy tool to jump into is called Google Trends, trends.google.com. I could put that in the chat. Head there and you can kind of see the trends is far less accurate data overall, but it just kind of shows you a little bit like, is one more popular than another? That just gives you a really quick general idea of what that can look like. Okay, so trends.google.com, and you could test out the different things. But when you any of the SEO tools and Google tools will show you more specific data as to like how many people are searching for what. But yeah, it does matter to pick the one that is getting the most search volume for sure. But Google's smart and it's going to know like, hey, portraits is another derivative of photos, pictures, images, that sort of stuff, right? But pick the one that gets the most searches first and then work everything else into content. So yeah, okay. I'm going to keep blazing through here. We've got to get into some of the details every time I jump through here. All right, so, okay. I'm going to give you the general overview. I'm going to do a little bit of show and tell in a little bit, so I'll walk you through some of the stuff. But I do wanted to show how you can, the things you need to think about on a big picture to help your website rank. Number one would be kind of a structure. How is your site set up? How do you have your navigation set up? Do the pages flow into each other well? So a lot of photography websites have, like, they list all their services on one page, for instance, all their pricing on another page. And guys, that is just such an easy way to kill any sort of results that you're trying to get. Highly recommend that we try to silo things out. So I'll show you this again with examples here in a little bit, but just think of trying to silo things out a little bit. So photography services, maybe you're seniors. Okay, what, I'm going to have an entire page talking about my senior experience, my senior pictures in whatever town that you're in. Name your page that, then include examples within the content of your site. If you don't use any keywords in your content that you actually want to rank for, you're not going to rank for that stuff. Okay. Like it blows my mind how people think that they want to rank for, senior pictures, and they have like a sentence about senior pictures on their website. You're not going to rank for senior pictures if you have a sentence on your page about it. Okay. Any of these things, if you don't actually use the words that you want to rank for within your content, you're not going to rank for it. And don't try to rank for everything on one page. Silo it out, create a page for the different services that you have if you don't have it already. And that is a really good place to start. And then I said product pages or service pages and blogs are your friends. Okay. Utilize these things, tie them together, link to each other. So if you're creating any of the blogs that we created that talked about like the senior experiences, senior pictures with cars, senior pictures with trucks, senior pictures with pets, senior pictures with instruments. I'm just like off the top of my head, I know that we've done those articles. We're linking those blog articles that we wrote to our main content, like the main senior pictures page, right? Because we want to kind of pass people there next, and we want Google to see when they're crawling those blogs that do get a lot of traffic. Oh, hey, next major step, or like all this stuff is funneling into this silo or this bucket that is senior pictures. Okay, you have to put in that is just really basic thought process in your mind that a lot of people don't even consider or think about, and just setting yourself up like that sets you above from other people. Platform also matters. And when you're talking about platform, I want to talk about the tools that you use and whatnot. And so you could have a pretend camera like a Canon or something like that, or you could get something amazing like a Nikon. Okay? Like this is the type of stuff that we're talking about here. No, seriously though, like think about like a beginning camera. My first digital camera was like a Nikon D40X or something like that. Really, really basic. Maybe even before that, I had like one of those little Minolta point and shoot things, like way back in the day. One of the first type of digital cameras. I think it was like 2 megapixels or something stupid, that the results that you're going to try to get from that cheap camera aren't going to match the results that you're going to get from something that is a powerful tool that you know how to use, right? You can do a decent job, but we're talking about like, can your web platform do the basic functions? Yeah, maybe. But if you really want to rank for this stuff and you really want to do a good job, the tools do make a huge difference. And so we'll get into those here in a second before I get into examples so that you can kind of jot these down. Okay. I don't know why it cropped off the website, but I was trying to show off Isaac's website there for a second. Okay. Nikon. Ew, Isaac, get out of here. Nikon's the best and you guys all know it. No potatoes here. Ooh. Yeah. I use Nikon. Isaac was always giving me crap for using Nikon, but I thought it was pretty awesome. Sony, I consider that a kid's toy as well. I mean, have you seen the greens? Ooh. I'm messing with you guys. Little playful bench is always fun, but essentially you guys could grab any camera and make it work, but the difference between using a point and shoot camera or, heaven forbid, one of those Polaroid things. The difference that you're able to get with the tools, and you know how to use the tools to your advantage, and that's kind of what we're talking about here. So, suggested tools. I was going to create this funny slide. I ran out of time, but like this funny slide about how Jared Polin or Peter McKinnon or people like that, all these YouTubers are just straight up lying to you all the time. Okay. What platform are all the YouTubers pushing? Put it in the comments. I want to see if you guys, maybe you don't watch YouTube like I do, but put it in the comments. What do you think? Sony? I'm talking about, there we go, Squarespace, WordPress, Beaver Builder. What else we have here? Wix. Yeah, guys, some platforms are just children's toys, and some platforms are built for adults. Okay. Again, I am all about WordPress personally. And even within WordPress, the tools that you plug into it matter. Okay. I highly recommend using Elementor as a page builder. It is very user friendly, and so like Squarespace, they try to be so user friendly. Wix, Weebly, all those like children's toys, they try to make it super foolproof for you, but in doing so, they strip away a lot of the power that you're able to accomplish with the tool that is your main marketing piece, which is your website. Utilize WordPress. Everything plugs into it. If you need some fancy functionality, you're going to be able to find it. Elementor is a tool that I've used for years within my marketing agency. And the reason I use it is so that it makes it easy for people to jump in and make updates, make things look beautiful, all this stuff. So highly recommend that. Oh, Isaac, I was going to share an affiliate link, but whatever. I mean, yeah, just you're good. I'll include my affiliate links in a different email. How about that? No, Elementor. Elementor is awesome. There's another platform called Breakdance that I have been experimenting with and really loving. Breakdance is it is very similar to Elementor. It's a page builder built for speed and built for flexibility, and they want Breakdance to beat Elementor at SEO type stuff. Okay, that's why they created Breakdance. Other platforms like Beaver are okay, but really, like, you're on the WordPress platform, so that's good. It does have some downfalls. Oxygen is another one, but it's pretty. I wouldn't recommend it because it is. It's kind of complicated to use. Breakdance is a little bit on the more complicated side. I have enjoyed working with it because I know how to. But I don't have experience with Jupyter, but I know that it's okay as well. Like the point is, the main thing is WordPress, and then whatever tool you feel comfortable with like underneath that is great. I wouldn't use the generic WordPress stuff. You're gonna hate your life when you do that. Use one of these builders. It's gonna make your life a whole lot better. Next, SEO Press. Definitely get that plugin. There's a free version, but if you want to get a little bit extra fancy and automatically ping Google and stuff like that when you make updates to your site, you want to get the paid version. I have another affiliate link for that, but go ahead and just try it out. SEO Press. It's really good. Hosting is so important, guys, and I only use WP Engine for hosting. You can use, like if you're using Elementor as your builder, Elementor has been rolling out some hosting features as well. And it looks pretty spectacular, but I haven't used it. I have used WP Engine because it is the best hosting that you could find. DreamHost, Bluehost, Gator Hosting, they all suck. They're all children's toys. Don't use them. Please save yourself so much headache. Just use the tools that you know are going to work, that I'm telling you. WP Engine is going to keep things speedy, and they build it to be SEO powerful, right? So WP Engine for your hosting. It is a little bit pricey, but all these tools are worth paying for because you're going to dominate, okay? Then the Google tools. Google Search Console, so hook your site up to that. Business.google.com is where you're going to be kind of like showing your Google, like your local pack information, and then ads.google.com for showing up in ads. But I want to do some show and tell, if that's okay with the time that we have left, just to kind of maybe give you guys solid examples of how all this stuff is working in the different accounts and whatnot. So I don't even know. Are we good on time? Yeah, we got a couple more minutes here. All right. Let's see. Okay. This is Isaac's site. Isaac's site is actually built on a different platform, and I will speak to that here really quickly. Isaac's site is built off of Webflow. It is a good platform for SEO, but it's really complicated for people who aren't in the website world all the time. I would not recommend using it. I would recommend using WordPress. But if you need an alternative and you don't want to, and you do feel like you're tech savvy, Webflow is a decent option. But guys, Squarespace is very basic. Wix, Weebly, all those sites, basic. They say they have some SEO options. I will tell you from using them personally, I've had clients on them and had to transition them off because the functionality is terrible. So, the results that you get are you're holding yourself back. Get yourself something that's going to actually propel you forward. That's the goal. Okay. I pulled this up because I was looking at it earlier. I needed to get some screenshots of it, but templatize if you can. Templatize I know we have, Isaac, somewhere we have blog post templates that we put together at one point. And I would say, like, if you guys want those, maybe send chats within here, and we can make a note to try to send these to you. I don't have your emails, but Isaac does apparently. So we'll try to get that information to you. Just put your email in here. We'll get it to you. But essentially what we're trying to do here is, main thing, your client in your location, and then where the senior pictures took place primarily. We're trying to rank for Cleveland, Ohio. I haven't even looked. I doubt that we are. It's very difficult. We're not there, obviously. But we're trying to do a multifaceted approach here to get into that space potentially, but then also we're hitting some of these other spots as well. You're going to want to put in real content. I don't know if you guys realize that Google just released an update that is kind of squashing some AI content. So just kind of don't utilize those tools too much. They can be helpful, but they could also kill you. So don't do that. Obviously, you're going to show off your images here. There's going to be you need to get into plenty of content. Kind of describe some of the things that made this unique, what you did to the place, the setup to make it really stand out. You're showing people the things that you do to set yourself above your competition. And yes, the competition may see some of this and try to rip you off, but guys, as well as anybody, that if you are the ones that are initiating some of these things, then people are going to notice that, and you are beating them to the punch. And so they're going to start eating up your stuff versus your copycat competitors. Squires Castle, we started to get into those keywords. This is an H2 tag. Squires Castle, Cleveland. But we're not being overbearing because these are humans that are interacting with these posts, right? A lot of images now because we kind of got through the rest of the content and we just were like, hey. Castle Grounds, still talking about the castle in Cleveland. We're always including testimonials, and then links back to what they got. Show off the products. If they don't see that you're selling products, they're not going to buy. A little bit more information about the specific attraction that we were going for, and then asking people to jump over and schedule their senior pictures there. So it's a lot. I wanted to show you a little bit of the back end, if that's okay. I guess we only have a couple minutes. Do you guys want to see a little bit of the back end?
I'm here for it.
All right, guys. All right, we'll jump into a little bit of the back end so you can kind of see how I set some of these things up. For this is my back end. I did a ton of work over the last couple of days because, again, I hadn't touched my website in like 5+ years. Okay, so I'm not ranking super well. Don't harp on me that I'm still ranking for some reason. Google's like, oh, this guy, even though he's not even doing anything with his business and doesn't ever respond to anything, he set his site up well, so we're going to keep him ranking. I transitioned all my site, everything to Breakdance, so you can kind of see how I utilize that. It's all within WordPress here, and you can see how powerful some of these things are with relatively minimal effort, guys. Relatively minimal, but you're gonna really blow everybody else out of the water. Okay, so first of all, again, if you don't use the keywords that you want to rank for on your pages in prominent spots, you will not rank. Okay. Where you need to include your keywords specifically, you're going to want to include them in your headers and a couple different versions of your headers. I'll get into that in a minute. And then in the content itself, and use variations. Okay. So this is my new website as of yesterday, all for you. Okay, my main page. All I'm trying to do for this one is rank for photographers in Ashland. This page. And I just, it should rank for this, and it does rank for this, but I don't have enough content on here. I could really, I'm not trying to dominate Isaac here. Okay. I want Isaac to still rank because I don't really push my photography business whatsoever. Again, I just did this to show you guys. You want me to zoom in a little bit?
Yeah. I was gonna say, can you zoom in your browser?
Yeah. There are things about this site that are probably really terrible because, again, I threw it up really, really fast. Photographers in Ashland is my main thing. And I don't have enough content on here. But then the next thing I'm trying to get my homepage to do is just get people to the next section, get people to what they are interested in as fast as possible. But I've got photographers in Ashland in my main header and my main H1 here. I've got photographers in Ashland, Ohio. I said some of the best because Isaac is the best. I'll give him that. These are the things I want to rank for. This is an H2 tag. Best photographers in Ashland. Take that, Isaac. But yeah, the point is to get them to the next page. So senior pictures. Let's hope this works. It worked. Okay. Senior pictures in Ashland, Ohio. Imagine that. I want to rank for that. Get amazing senior pictures. Okay, this is a little bit overkill, but I think it works. Scrolling down, amazing senior pictures near Ashland, Ohio. Okay, great. But giving people really quick opportunities to take action. Simple process you can expect with your service. Senior pictures. Senior photo shoot. Okay, there's an example of, senior photo is in there. Senior photos here. Okay, so working a little bit of variation, so it's not all senior picture, the whole thing. Senior sessions, etc. Senior photo ideas, stuff that people care about. They're looking for that, so include that on this page. Gallery, senior photo gallery. People are searching for that. Okay, so just kind of giving people what they want, giving search engines what they want. Senior portrait pricing. Again, I use portrait as opposed to pictures here because I've used pictures too much. So senior portrait pricing, something people really care about. So okay, we're gonna use terminology that in this stuff could show up in like the suggested content type stuff within Google searches. So, but yeah, senior portrait pricing, etc. Okay. Enough about what it looks like. Let's get into kind of how it's set up. So I will jump into the senior pictures page. Okay. Man. Let's go. Of course, I've got all this stuff going on my computer. It's like, what's going on? Okay. So all these SEO tools, like out of the box, WordPress doesn't really give you SEO tools necessarily. You could look at Yoast SEO, Rank Math, but I prefer SEO Press. I think it does a really good job. Shows what your listing will look like. So this is the title that is going to show up in your browser. See up there, zoom in. This shows up in Google and on your browser here. Okay. Get senior pictures in National Ohio. Get senior pictures in National Ohio. The meta description is going to be another important factor. This shows up underneath your main title in Google. Okay. Senior pictures in National Ohio. You'll notice I use that there. But then also use this section to set you apart from everybody else. Try to keep yourself from being too stale and boring. Fashionable modern poses. Like, think about the things that they care about, that they're going to be like, oh, wow, this person helps me pose well. I don't have to think about it. I don't want to have to try to do that on myself. I don't want to look stale. I don't want to look old school. Fashionable, modern. Those are types of things that like help people understand that, okay, I want to click on that link, and as opposed to Maurer photography. Okay. This allows you to put in like, okay, I want to target my senior pictures as a keyword, and then it gives you this whole list of like all the things where you need to include your keywords. Okay. I will say most important, headings. You want to have your keywords in multiple different headings within your site. Stuff that's hard to accomplish within Squarespace. You don't have a lot of flexibility with that. Your meta title, very important. This is this thing right up here, your title. Okay. Very important. That's what Google's using in their search engines. Results. Meta description, another huge thing. And then I don't see it in here, but it is somewhere. Maybe. Keywords. Maybe it's not yelling me. Keywords in the permalink, yeah, but is that giving me like there is one, I'm sure, I just can't see it right now, because it yelled at me when you don't have enough keywords within the content itself. It's like, hey, come on, use some keywords in here. So do that. Okay. These things are all important, but the ones I highlighted are the main ones. And then for your images, you want to have some alt text. And I'll show you this here within Breakdance. Very similar to Elementor. Very, very similar, but you just need less to make it work. Okay. So I'm in my builder. Maybe I should have set up a sample page for this, but this was already set up, so I'm not going to worry about it. Senior pictures in Ashland, Ohio. Okay, I'm going to set that as my H1. That is the first thing I want my search engine to see when they hit this site. My H1 tag, very clear, is exactly what I want to rank for. Okay, and you can get creative if you feel like you have to get creative. You don't like to say senior pictures in whatever. Get creative with it, but try to keep it as true to the search term that you know people are searching as you can. Okay. Give people a way to get in touch with you right away. Your images. So background image here. I go to choose what I have. Really, really simple. I'm so zoomed in. Try to find that. It was one of the first ones I put in here. So, okay. You can change the alt text right here. Really easy. Something that's difficult in other web builders, almost impossible in some. So this makes it really, really easy. High school senior picture in Ashland, Ohio. Senior picture in Ashland, Ohio. Utilizing keywords within there, but you still have to be descriptive. Otherwise, you might get penalized. So just be like descriptive of what it actually is. So at the Ashland County Fairgrounds, okay, that gives it a little bit of context. So do that for all the images on the site. This is an H2. I can easily set that within here. I could set if I wanted to, like, oh, I want that to be a little bit different. Very easy to update. Oops. Any of this content. You could change the color of it. So maybe I want to jump in and say, hey, you know what? I want that to be my site color. There we go. Super easy to set, super easy to change. Really, really simple tools here. Okay. So all these things, senior photo shoot. Again, I'm just showing you like senior photos throughout, tastefully, not too much. Senior photo ideas, all these, all these elements, very easy to set up, but they're powerful. Okay. The back end is powerful and it accomplishes what you want it to do to rank well. Okay. And always give somebody the way to schedule action, create a pop-up. I want it to be my senior lead. So it shows the right form there. Okay. Close out of this because I don't actually want to save any of the things that I just did. But I'm going to go out here to my main WordPress area. And let's say I want to create a new page.
Hey, so Andrew, we're getting into a little bit of the thick of it, and I just want to make sure we do need to wrap it up. So I just want to make sure, is there beyond kind of this inside look of the builder, you have more, is there more stuff after this?
No, this is essentially, this is it. Like I was just like, hey, let's show how this stuff is kind of set up in the back end, how easy it is, so that people aren't intimidated or overwhelmed by the, in fact, they could see that utilizing powerful tools can be very simple.
Totally.
And where to put these things. The main thing is, like, I guess, thinking through just like, what do I want to rank for? And then I need to create pages that help me rank for those things that I want to rank for. And I need to set them up then, but always start with the strategy of like, okay, I'm trying to dominate Google. I need to get my site set up, and then do a quick search, and you can see like, okay, what are the elements here that Google's showing? They're showing the local pack for a lot of these things. They're showing just general free organic listings, so we need to show up there. And if there's ads at play too, you want to show up there as well.
Definitely.
So I'll just really quickly edit and breakdance. Okay, I have a blank sheet here, but I already have one page set up. So all I'm going to do is just add a section from a library on this website, or you could say, hey, I want to look at a kit and look for a specific section, but I'm just going to look at this page on my website. Ooh, it's waking out a little bit. There we go. All right, and now that gives me all the different pages that I have set up here. I have an oops page, which threw me off for just a second. But let's say like I like my headshots page. I want to click on that. This is my page. I'm just going to import that whole page into the page I just created, and boom, I have the foundation that looks exactly like everything else I set up. And now I can just edit the content based off of my headshots now instead of my senior pictures or whatever. So I'm going to exit, leave. I don't want to update that.
So we got a quick question from Gretchen about alt text. Is alt text only for visually impaired when they can't really see the image, or is it for more than that?
Alt text is going to help you show up in Google Photos. So when you do a search for senior pictures, Mohican State Park, there's Isaac, images. Isaac should be in here as well. There he is, at least one. Boom. Some of the searches automatically pull images into them.
So alt text is basically telling Google what exactly the content of the image is. And they also really want you to be true to it. And they don't want you to just fluff it up with a bunch of random keywords inside of your alt text. You need to make it true to what that photo is, so that you can rank into Google Photos, which is really cool place to be in.
Is the name of the file as important as alt text? It is important. It's helpful, but alt text is a primary search. It holds the most power within the search. So, and yes, it is important for accessibility. But guess what? Google wants your site to be as accessible as possible. So if you don't have alt text on your images, then that could be detrimental because they want to see you making an effort to be as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. Can you switch from Elementor to Breakdance, or do you need to start a new site design? I haven't ever switched directly from Elementor to Breakdance, but the elements are very similar. You would need to do a new design, but they might be able to pull the database into it, which is really technical. I love Elementor. That's what I use for most of my clients because it's easy for them to use. I found Breakdance to be a little bit, even though it's like slightly more powerful, maybe it is a little bit more cumbersome to really master. And so I was like, well, most of my client sites are built on Elementor. Other questions? I guess, yeah. I'll shut up.
Yeah, you're good. This was great. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If there's any more, drop them in there. Drop them in the chat. I want to kind of end this out. If there's not too many questions, if Andrew, you could, sorry, go ahead, Jody.
Yeah. And I know I kind of blazed through some technical stuff, and I'm happy to chat through that more. Like I'll make myself available to you guys. If you have to work through Isaac to get to me, that's totally fine. But I'll just put my I'll put my email in here as well. Don't spam me. But yeah, I love this stuff. And again, like I'll give you another just quick. Like you saw how well Isaac was ranking for everything, right? It's possible in a small town, and it's possible in big towns, big cities, even, especially if you're in that place, how much more of opportunity you have to get into that market. But we're dominating stuff, and I think it's important that you guys can understand that it doesn't take a lot to do it. You just have to set things up right and think about it. And this stuff, again, it's not a rat race. It's stuff that once you set it, again, I haven't touched my site for 5 years and I still rank near the top, like put in the effort, do a little bit more than I did, and you'll like do the work that we did for copy creations and you'll be the number one. Like it's not going to be challenging because nobody else is doing it well. Some people are doing it well, but not a lot of people are doing it well.
Very good.
I just wanted to show you, the tool I was talking about earlier within the Google Ads platform. Keyword planner, discover new keywords, senior pictures, senior portraits, senior photos. Okay, get results. Okay, there we go. Senior pictures, 22,000 searches for that a month. Senior portraits, like half of that essentially. Senior photos, even less. So main keyword you want to be focused on, senior pictures, just like stuff like that. Sometimes it's just common sense, but if you do need to double check, you've got tools that give you fairly accurate data as to, that can help you make informed marketing decisions. So, and then you could also tag those in with location or specific, like the Squire's Castle example, like an attraction. That's helpful, but cool. All right. Any other thoughts, questions, anything?
Appreciate you, Andrew. Thanks so much for coming on here. Hopefully this was good for you guys. In the chat, I actually dropped a link to the BizBytes page on our website. If you're not on the newsletter for One Collective, we are emailing out basically monthly on what the topic is coming up. So you can join us. So definitely join that newsletter. If you're here because you joined from me emailing you, I will probably be emailing you again next month. But But yeah, so these Biz Bites are meant to kind of, you know, grow our community, grow our industry, and make us all better business photographers or business owners and photographers. So definitely join that newsletter if you have not already, so we can stay in touch.